Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video. My name is Evelyn Barta and today we will talk about soul contracts, spiritual contracts and how to change them and how to create and manifest a reality that is much more desirable for yourself than what you think your soul contract is. I will share a very powerful technique with you on how to change your spiritual contract, and it's actually quite simple to use, so I'm really excited to share it with you. My background is different this time. I just moved houses and I really hope that you like my nature background. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into our video. I always talk about the fact in my videos that on our planet currently the energies are changing and we have just finished our third density cycle and we are moving into our fourth density cycle. Some people are already in the fifth dimension, but as a collective we are in the beginning state of the fourth dimensional cycle, fourth density reality, so to speak. So we are at the starting phase of the fourth density. Therefore, this allows us to connect to our higher self and to the universal consciousness much easier than before, than in the third dimension. And many people think, and including myself, used to think that spiritual contracts, soul contracts cannot be changed because they are quite set in stone, that we have karma, which we have no control over whatsoever, and there are certain things that needs to be balanced out, and there are certain cycles that needs to be completed. However, this is no longer the case in the fourth dimensional reality. It used to be a case in the third dimension. Karma was playing a huge part in the third dimension, but because we moved to the fourth dimension already, our free will is playing a huge part. So by free will, you can change your spiritual contract. And this is something that I heard around 2 years ago. And when I first heard it, it felt like a huge stone was lifted off my shoulder. I was like, oh my God, I can change my spiritual contract. So I don't need to suffer. I don't need to go through all those hardships in order to learn my lessons. I can change that contract anytime. So it was a relief for me. What I did 2 years ago is that I wrote down what I think that is my spiritual contract. What are those lessons that I think that I needed to complete in this lifetime? So first thing that you do when you want to change your spiritual contract is take a piece of paper and write it down. What you think that is your spiritual contract. What are those lessons from the past that you think that you needed to integrate in this lifetime? So for me, there were lessons about money, there were lessons about relationships. Like, for example, I wrote it down that I think that the reason why I moved to London, one of the most expensive cities in the world, was because there was a lesson about money that I needed to integrate. There were certain beliefs about money that needed to be healed in this lifetime. So in order to integrate those lessons about money, I needed to go through financial hardships. Same with relationships. I wrote it down why I think that I needed to go through certain situations in life, what I've learned about them. So by writing down these things, you gain an overview about what is your spiritual mission and what are those lessons that you already have integrated and have learned in this incarnation. After you wrote down all these things and you gained an insight about your spiritual mission and contract, your soul contract, the next step is the intention. Setting the intention can be extremely powerful. So it's so important to set an intention. And after writing down those things, I stated clearly that my intention is to change my contract, saying that I do not want those things to be part of my life anymore. I have learned those lessons. I no longer want to learn from hardships. I want to learn from love and from experiencing positive things. So after you have identified and clarified with yourself, with your consciousness and with your higher self as well, by setting this intention, what is your spiritual contract? Now you can think about what you are desiring and what you want to manifest and what you want to create for yourself in this incarnation. Let your higher self know what is your desired reality that you want to manifest and how you do that. And I always say it in my videos that the best way of doing this is to meditate. So you have to get yourself into a state of mind where you are easily programmable, where you can easily reprogram yourself. And you do that by shutting down your analytical mind. But in order to do that, you have to change your brain waves. There are 5 different brain waves that your mind is operating from. And most people know only about 2 of them because the majority of people are either awake during the day and they are doing their stuff, or they are asleep during the night. But in reality, they are actually five, and let me tell you how to utilize them in order to change your life and to create the reality that you want for yourself. They are the beta waves, and those are the waves which your mind operates from when you are in an awakened state, when your analytical mind is on, and when you are doing your stuff during the day, when you are at work and you are using your conscious mind. They are low range beta waves and they are high range beta waves. Most of the time you are either in low range or mid range beta wave, but they are high range beta waves as well, and they are very damaging on a long term if you are constantly in high range beta wave. High range beta wave is when you are in a stressful situation and you are focused on survival. Now, in order to turn off your analytical mind and have a more relaxed focus, you have to get from beta to alpha state. Now, the alpha waves are the waves that your brain is operating from when you get into meditation. So those are the first phases of a meditative state. When you are in alpha state, your outward focus goes to inward focus. So you are not as focused on the environment, what is going on around you. This is something that is very difficult to achieve during the day, especially if you are focused on work or focused on a particular task. So that is the reason why the best to get into an alpha state, a more relaxed state, is before going to sleep or after waking up in the morning. When you get into the state of being half awake or half asleep is when you are in theta state. So the theta state is something that we need in order to access our subconscious mind and to change our reality. And they are the delta brain waves, so the delta state. So when you are sleeping, when you are in this sleep state, you are actually in delta. And then there are the gamma brain waves, which are the fastest brain waves. And your mind operates from these gamma brain waves when you are in a heightened level of consciousness. This is something that some people experience by being in a deep hypnosis, and those individuals don't remember anything from their hypnosis. This is not very usual to experience these high levels of states of consciousness. So I don't want to talk too much about gamma waves. And you don't need to be necessarily in a gamma state in order to change your soul contracts. So I want to talk more about the theta state. So let's go back to theta state, because this is the state that we need for our soul contracts to be changed and for our subconscious mind to be reprogrammed. So this theta state is where the veil between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind disappears. So your mind, it's so much easier to be reprogrammed. How you get into this theta state is either by hypnosis, meditation, or straight after you wake up in the morning because you are still half asleep, or before going to bed because you are still half asleep or half awake. And I love to do my meditation practice just before I go to sleep because it's much easier for me to get from the beta state into alpha, the more relaxed state, and then to the theta state, which is that lucid state. So I really prefer to do it before going to sleep, but I know that many people love it just straight after waking up in the morning. This really depends on your lifestyle, but I would really recommend you doing that either in the morning or in the evening. Being in this theta state is the moment of visualization, where you can manifest. So this is the moment when you can visualize yourself in a situation that is aligned with your desired outcome. In this theta state, you can put your consciousness in a location or situation, whatever you desire that you want to manifest, or you can imagine yourself being with a particular person that you want to be with. The idea is that visualize for yourself a situation that is a desired situation. This is how you let your higher self know about what is the outcome that you would like to bring into the physical reality, into manifestation. And this is where the so-called consciousness split happens, because we are consciousness and we are multidimensional beings, and that means that we can be simultaneously in many places. So at the same time, we can be in multiple realities. I can be physically meditating in this room, but my consciousness can be in another universe, dimension, reality, whatever you call it. So basically, I can astral project my consciousness to be in a different reality. This is what happens when you visualize being in a particular scenario and experiencing that scenario while being in this theta state. Some people don't need to be in this meditative state. Some people can astral project while being awake, while being in beta, but that's not very likely to happen. That's very rare. So it's much easier to reprogram your subconscious mind and to bring into manifestation your desired outcome while being in theta. You will let your higher self know and understand that you have a change of your life plan and you want a different spiritual contract, a soul contract for yourself. Your higher self will get the message from these mental images and will make all the necessary agreements with other higher selves, with other people's higher selves, to bring the outcome of a new spiritual contract into the physical reality and into manifestation. This is a technique which, if you do consistently and as often as possible, you can actually change your spiritual and your soul contracts. However, remember that because of the fact that we are in the beginning phases of the fourth density, of the fourth dimension, as a collective, your manifestation will not happen immediately. So there will be a manifestation gap. Also keep in mind that this technique and changing your spiritual contract can only be used for your highest good and for the highest good of everyone involved. Using this technique with the purpose to harm others or to do wrong to others will backfire on you. And the reason why is that is because on higher densities, higher dimensions than the fourth density, there's no separation, there's oneness. So whatever you desire for others, whatever harm you want to create for others, you will create for yourself. So if you want to manifest and want to experience love, then use this technique by operating from love and not operating from your ego. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that this technique was helpful in creating a new soul contract for yourself, which is totally possible, and I think it's amazing that we can do that. If what you heard has resonated with you, please feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on similar uploads like this. I upload videos every single week. Thank you so much for all your support. I wish you an amazing week. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in my next video.